Kelly, if you bought a new house, we're living together too. It's not fair to just leave me behind. Since you married Cohen, we're family, bound by fate. Why do you have to follow me everywhere? It's just me and my husband's life. I need you to let go. Why do I have to do that? Sure, my brother might have gotten married, but we're still his family. Since you married him, you're family with us too. It's nice you think that, but being tied down is tough. Anyway, I'm going to live with you guys. Even if you hate it, it's not okay, and if you don't allow it, I'll make you get a divorce. Alright, then. We'll get a divorce. When I said that, my in-laws seemed incredibly happy. I think they're thrilled about moving to the new house. They must also be happy to have excluded me from the family. I felt relieved to get away from my husband's family since they were becoming unbearable. But on the day we moved to the new house, my mother-in-law kept calling non-stop. She must have finally realized that she fell into the trap I set. What in the world is going on? This isn't what we agreed on. You do realize what you've done is unforgivable? It's too late for that now. We're divorced, so I'm not part of your family anymore. Just give up and live there. Bye. Then, as if he had been listening in, my husband spoke up instead of his mother. You think you can get away with this? I never thought you could be so unreasonable. I don't know why I married someone like you. I could say the same to you. After I said that, my husband had nothing to reply. I hope his self-centered family suffers a great deal. My name is Kelly, I'm 28 years old. After graduating from college, I started working at a real estate firm. It's not that I go out for sales myself, I entertain clients that our salespeople bring in. So, I don't go out of the office much and work inside all the time. But this job involves talking to many people, and I hear it offers more encounters than other companies. Thanks to my job, I started dating someone I met through work a few years ago, and we ended up getting married. When I first met my husband, he was a really good guy, always forgiving whatever I said and always putting me first. When I introduced him to my friends, they were so envious. Kelly's husband is really a great guy. You won't find anyone like him anywhere, you should really cherish him. Kelly's a great person too, so it's no wonder you two met. I'm really happy to hear you praise him so much. I've never met anyone as good as him, so I plan to cherish him. We haven't been married long, so there are still things I'm finding out about him. But you dated for a while before getting married, right? You must know him pretty well by now? Everyone around us is getting married, but Kelly's husband is the best guy. It's rare to find someone who thinks so much about their spouse. That might be true, but I still feel uneasy. I don't know what his parents are like, and there might be mother-in-law issues. They seemed nice when we met them though. If he's such a good husband, his parents must be good people too. But you never know what might happen in the world, so you can't be completely at ease. If anything happens, feel free to talk to me anytime. I'm on your side, Kelly. I'm really glad to hear you say that. Sorry I rely on you so much. My friends really praise my husband a lot. I love him, but hearing them praise him makes me love him even more. It makes me realize how important he is and that I need to cherish him even more. Even after we got married, my husband has remained a good person, always prioritizing me. From what I hear, many people change suddenly after getting married, so I'm really grateful for my husband's personality. However, it's been a few months since we got married, and recently my husband's behavior has been strange. He leaves me at home and goes back to his parents' house often. I don't know what he's doing, so I decided to ask him. Lately, you've been going back to your parents' house a lot. What are you doing there? If something's happened at home, I want you to tell me. Is there a problem you can't talk to me about? Nothing's wrong. I just go back because I want to. Or do you have a reason why I shouldn't go home? I didn't think you were the type of person to be so controlling. That's not what I mean, but why do you say it like that? Something's been off lately, has anything happened? If you're struggling with work, I'm here to help. Because you are an elite working in real estate, do you think you can boss me around? If you've got so much free time, why don't you find us a house to live in? You're in real estate, it should be easy for you, right? Okay. I think I'll look for a house where we can live together. Do you have any specific requirements? If there's anything, I'll take that into account. I'd like a spacious house since we might have kids in the future. We don't know how many, so the bigger, the better. That's why I started looking for a house. I didn't like the way he said it, but I'm glad he's thinking about the kids. Honestly, most couples would be happy with just this, but I've been feeling insecure because my husband has been going back to his parents' house a lot, so this was a relief. While searching for a house for the two of us, I found a few good options and decided to propose them to my husband. He's cautious about choosing things, so I don't expect him to decide right away, but I hope to get some feedback. Just as I was thinking about this, my husband came home from work, so I decided to discuss the houses with him. Hey, I found a few good houses. Could you take a look at them? I'm not saying you have to choose from these, but I'd like your opinion. It will be the house we'll live in for a long time, so let's be careful about deciding. By the way, I haven't told you yet, but starting today, my mom and sister are coming to stay with us, so get ready. If we don't tidy up the rooms, my mom will scold us. I hadn't heard about that at all. What's going on? If they were coming, you should have told me sooner. There's only so much I can do when you tell me at the last minute. I meant to tell you, but I've been busy with work and forgot. It's not something to get so mad about. What's up with you? It's just a bit of cleaning. I don't want to get bad impression from your mom since we just got married. It's awful that you don't understand how I feel. I was just about to discuss the houses, and now the plans are ruined. Why are you so mad? It's just two family members coming over, right? And we can talk about the house anytime. You talk about houses every day at work, you probably don't even want to talk about it at home, right? Talking about real estate at work and discussing our future home are different things. I've been squeezing in time to look for it. Why would you say something so horrible? I was happy that you said we should look for a house. My husband seems completely oblivious to my feelings, maintaining a calm expression. If his mother and sister were nice people, I wouldn't react so negatively. But they seem to dislike me and come off as overbearing. I haven't told anyone because it's a lot of stress for me. I haven't said anything to my husband so as not to worry him, so he probably doesn't realize. Even though I'm this reluctant, it's disappointing that he doesn't show any sympathy. He used to be so kind before we got married. I wonder why he changed. He was desperate to win me over before we were married, but maybe now that he has me, it doesn't matter to him. Still, now that we're married, it's not so easy to just get a divorce, so I'll make preparations for the two of them coming. While I was preparing, the two of them showed up unexpectedly. Oh, we told you we were coming, and you're still cleaning up? You're really sloppy, you know. I wonder how you managed to marry my brother. I'm sorry. I only heard you were coming just a moment ago. If I had known earlier, I would have been prepared. Do you really think that excuse will work? Even if we weren't coming, you should naturally keep the place tidy. Living in a dirty room is just unacceptable. It wasn't that messy. I'll be done cleaning up in just a bit, please wait a moment. You can go upstairs and relax with my husband for now. Really, making us feel uncomfortable like this is crazy. Now that you're part of our family, you need to be more competent. I thought you'd be more capable since you work in real estate. They just kept criticizing me non-stop. It seems they adore my husband so much that they can't stand his wife, me. I heard before that they used to say he never needed to get married. You'd think they'd want him to marry, but this family seems different. They prefer to stay together as a family, and my sister-in-law has deliberately chosen not to marry. Even if they tell me such things after getting married, there's nothing I can do. If they have complaints, they should speak to my husband, who chose to marry. But no matter what they say about me, my husband does not stand up for me. When I talk to him directly, he seems unconcerned. Why did the two of them suddenly decide to visit? Honestly, I'm not comfortable with them, so I'd like them to leave soon. If this continues, I'll just end up stressed. They're staying with us for a while because the house is being renovated. You're just not used to them yet since we're newly married, but you'll get used to it with this visit. Better get along soon, or it'll be uncomfortable. I didn't hear anything about that. I really don't understand. Why didn't you tell me such important news sooner? How long exactly are they planning to stay? I don't know all the details, but think of it as living together. We're a married family now, and we're going to share that. We're about to buy a new house, so why not? Wait a minute. Are you planning to live together in the new house too? When you said you wanted a house big enough for many people, was this what you meant? If we're family, then don't ignore my feelings. You shouldn't be so mad. We're family. Living with 2 or 4 people doesn't make a difference. Anyway, you just need to find a house for all of us to live in. What my husband says really makes no sense. Why do we have to live with 4 people just because we got married? I asked before we married, and I was told there was no chance we'd be living in a multifamily home. Yet here we are, being told this after getting married, and I just can't accept it. But it seems the other 3 have moved quite far along in their plans without me, as I overheard them talking about living together when I wasn't around. I wonder what the new house will be like. If we're doing this, I'd like a place with a big yard. She works in real estate, so she'll find us a good spot. Just sit tight and wait. That's why we married a realtor, isn't it? We need her to find us a good house. She can't do much else, so at least she can handle finding a house. Let's keep this between us for now. As long as we get a good house, that's all that matters. I had no idea such plans were being made behind my back. To think the reason they wanted me married was just for a house. My husband might have other reasons, but it seems like my mother-in-law and sister-in-law are really just in it for the house. Maybe that's why they were so nice before the wedding, and suddenly cold afterwards, pushing him to return home. Now that I've heard this, I can't just let it go. I've decided to divorce my husband. I can't stand the thought that after all the harassment I've endured, they're just looking to benefit themselves. I'm determined to make them regret trying to use me. Keeping these feelings to myself, I pretended I heard nothing and proceeded with the house discussion with my husband. About the new house, is it okay if I make all the decisions? I'll make sure it's suitable for 4 people, so don't worry. You're the realtor, after all. Find us a nice place. My sister said she wants a place with a big yard, and Mom mentioned she wants to get a pet, so please consider that. I see, a house with a big yard and pet-friendly. That shouldn't be a problem since we're looking to buy. But if we want a big yard, it might be a bit rural. That's not a problem at all. Don't worry about it. The family home where Mom and sister live is pretty rural, too. Dad's on assignment and doesn't come home, so it's not an issue. I hadn't heard about your father's assignment. But is it really okay to decide on a house without consulting them? If we're going to live together, shouldn't we discuss it? They trust you because you're a realtor. So, don't worry about them and just go ahead. I'll take responsibility if anything comes up. The house renovation isn't done yet, so no need to worry so much, right? My husband says this, but now that I've heard their conversation, I know they're not really trusting me, they're just trying to use me. Honestly, even though he talks about living with 4 people, I have no intention of doing that. I'll wait for the right moment and then bring his family down. I bet they'll insist on living together once we buy the new house. So, I'm moving forward with my plan, targeting this specific issue. I don't know how it will turn out, but I'm considering various factors as I plan. However, even as I think about these things, my mother-in-law and sister-in-law keep harassing me. My sister-in-law even quit her job right when she came to our house, and now she's asking me for money. Hey, I heard real estate agents make good money, is that true? If it's true, then I can manage it for you. I used to work at a bank, so you can trust me. There's no need for that. My money is safely managed at the bank, but thanks for your concern. You really don't get it. I'm telling you to give me the money quickly. You married my brother, so you owe me at least that. Why should I give you money? If you need money, you should work. I don't understand why you're asking me. We're family now, so it's natural to have one joint account, right? As a first step, you could just leave the money with me. I'll increase it and give it back, so don't worry. Are you planning to gamble again? I've heard from my husband that you do that often. Please don't use my hard-earned money for such things. You really don't understand. Even after explaining so much, you won't give up the money. You're too stingy. If that's how it is, I'll make your husband divorce you. If you love my husband that much, why don't you get money from him? If you can really increase it, I'm sure he'd be happy. Besides, you should be asking him, not me. What are you saying? My brother earns so little, it's sad. You don't understand that? If you keep saying that, I won't forgive you. So, are you saying I'm not pitiful? I really don't understand what you mean. Anyway, I have no intention of giving you any money. After I said this, my sister-in-law seemed to realize she wouldn't get any money from me and left. Even she must have thought there was nothing she could do after being confronted so directly. However, it's really incomprehensible that they would not only try to live at my house but also demand money. The more they stress me out, the more I feel like making a big retaliation. But I didn't expect my sister-in-law to give up so quickly, so I decided to watch for a while. Thinking about all this, the next morning when I checked my purse, I noticed that the money I had put in for the utility bills was gone. Timing-wise, I had to suspect my sister-in-law, so after watching for a while, it turned out she was indeed stealing my money. Not only from the utility bills, but she was also taking money from my wallet. And it's not just my sister-in-law harassing me, my mother-in-law is in on it too. Hasn't the new house been decided yet? If we don't hurry, the renovation here will be finished. I want to move into the new house soon, so please decide quickly. I'm desperately looking, but it's hard to find something suitable. A house that can comfortably fit 4 adults needs to be quite large. There are options if you're okay with something somewhat rural. We'll just go with that then. Let's decide on it. We need to find a place quickly, this house is too cramped. How much longer do you plan to make us feel uncomfortable? Is it really necessary to say that? I was suddenly told we'd be living here, and I've been doing my best to cope. Just hurry up and decide on a house. Make sure we can move in by the week after next. If not, I'll have you divorce my son. Okay, I understand. Normally, such words would be unpleasant, but for me, who is fully intent on divorcing, they couldn't be more welcome. I decided to use what my mother-in-law said and take action. No matter what she said, there was no room for rebuttal. Because it really came from her. So I found a house as they described and discussed it with my husband, who said to put it in his name to look good. If it's in your name, you're paying the down payment, right? We can manage the mortgage together though. The down payment is set low, so it's fine. I just want it in my name in case anything happens. I want to be able to say it's my house no matter what. If that's the case, it's fine. And are you sure you don't need to check anything else about the house? You won't complain after we sign the contract? You've included mom and sister's preferences, right? If so, I won't complain at all. You could check with them just to be sure, but I don't think they'll have any issues. I want to confirm so I'm not blamed if anything comes up. They tend to complain and shift blame quickly, so it's scary. I'll check with them tomorrow, and if it looks good, we'll go ahead with the contract. As long as it's in my name, I'm fine with anything. The 3 of you women can do as you like. Given that, I decided to confirm with the 2 of them to avoid any complaints. They seem to trust me with finding a property since I'm a realtor, so I don't think they'll complain, but I wanted to check just in case. Otherwise, I might get blamed for various things after we move. Thinking this, I went to confirm with them immediately. I've found the next house we'll live in, can you check it? It's the property with a large yard and allows pets as you requested. Though, I think you two will be moving there soon. If it has a large yard, just hurry up with it. I heard you were a competent realtor, but you're too slow. If you care about us, do it faster. If it's bigger than this house, anywhere is fine. But owning a pet has been a dream, so please consider that. Hurry up, this house is too cramped and depressing. I'm actually rushing this. The conditions of a large yard and being pet-friendly are met. So, I'll proceed with the contract for this house. There's no need for all this checking, just hurry up with the contract. How long do you plan to keep us living here? You're really not thoughtful, it's frustrating. Since I've received their confirmation, there should be no grounds for them to complain, regardless of the house. The fact that my husband agreed to pay the down payment while we split the rest of the home purchase cost is a big relief. I've been hoping to reduce my financial burden as much as possible. Usually, we're not this well off, so I think he's getting help from his mother. When I told my husband the contract was completed, my in-laws summoned me. At last you've decided on a house. You really can't get anything done. Well, we'll be living together from now on, so I hope we can get along. Living together, you mean until the renovation is done, right? Oh, didn't I mention it? It's true we are renovating, but we've already sold the old house. We plan to live together permanently from now on. I haven't heard anything about this. Why wouldn't you tell me something so important? If it's true, you absolutely should have mentioned it from the start. It doesn't make much difference whether it's for a short while or forever, right? Just think of it as extending the period a bit. Are you saying you hate living with us that much? I really think you're right, Mom. Is living with my family that awful to you? I can't believe you would say such things. I just feel that my opinions are not being considered at all. It's just too strange, and I don't want to live together. It wouldn't hurt to consider my feelings a bit more. If you really don't want to live with us that much, then we'll have to get a divorce. You wouldn't want that, right? So just live with us and keep doing the household chores. If that's what it takes, I'm prepared to get a divorce. I did love you, but things have been weird lately. Please, feel free to live in the new house without me. Well, that's convenient for us. Sorry, but we'll be happy living just the three of us in the new house without any interference. Everything regarding the contract is complete, so rest assured. All that's left is the house payment and the alimony. Alimony? What are you talking about? I said I'd handle the down payment, but I didn't hear anything about alimony. There are a few things I'd like to claim, but first is your affair. Did you think I hadn't noticed? In fact, when my husband started visiting his parents' home frequently after our marriage, I suspected something and hired a detective. It turned out that when he said he was going home, he was actually going on dates with a coworker. This was only recently discovered, and I thought this would be a good time to bring it up. It seemed like he was unaware of the detective, and I wanted to avoid any deception if I mentioned it before deciding on a divorce. So, I made sure to hire a detective and had them prepare photographic evidence. My husband was incredibly surprised, apparently having no idea I was doing this. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law were also unaware and couldn't hide their shock. When I laid out the evidence photos, all three of them were staring intently. I can't believe this is happening. I suspected something, so I had it thoroughly investigated. I thought it was excessive how often you were going back to your parents. A man might have an affair or two. The fact you can't even forgive that shows how petty you are. As for the alimony, I'll be seeking payments from your sister as well. Why should I pay alimony? I haven't cheated on anyone, so I have no obligation to pay. Sister, you were stealing my money, weren't you? The money for the utility bills, the money from my wallet. Did you think I wouldn't notice? Don't talk nonsense without evidence. If it's evidence you need, I have a video I secretly recorded. Oh no. Sis, you borrowed money from me and then did this too. It seems she had told my husband she couldn't borrow from him anymore, but when push came to shove, it appears she did borrow from him after all. My mother-in-law was just standing there, dumbfounded. All I ask is that you handle the alimony and house payments. Since the house is in my husband's name, all payment obligations fall on you. Oh no. After that, the three of them moved to the new house at the address I sent them to. I had just terminated the lease of the house we lived in since it was time for renewal, and I went back to my parents' house. I thought I would feel a bit lonely after the divorce, but having my parents and cat with me, I don't feel that lonely. In fact, I feel refreshed being away from my husband's family. As I was relaxing, a barrage of calls came from my mother-in-law. Judging by the number of missed calls, something must have happened. I think they must have realized the strategy one had set up. To avoid them coming to the house, I decided to answer the phone. What is going on here? You tricked us. Do you think this is okay to do? You seem very upset, but what's wrong? I just found the house you all wanted. Plus, I got your confirmation before signing the contract. The house comes with a ranch and we are told there's an obligation to take care of it. I didn't hear anything about this. What are you going to do about it? The large yard is actually a ranch, and it comes with pets already. Since you don't work, sister, maybe you can take care of them. I just did what you all told me to. How could I possibly take care of cows? What are you joking about? Anyway, we can't live in such a place. It's too late, the contract is in my husband's name. Please live there until you find a new home. I will never forgive you, just be prepared. You all gave me permission when you signed the contract, right? So, no matter what happens, it only works out in my favor. How? When did you do this? Did you know we were trying to use you? I also overheard that conversation. Unfortunately, you'll just have to live there. No way. How come we have to live on a ranch? If there's all the evidence, there's nothing you can do. Indeed, with the evidence presented, no one could argue back. I made sure to get written consent when I asked for their permission, just to be safe. So, they couldn't argue against it. They all signed without suspicion because they were eager to move out. In the end, my husband and his family are living in the country house with a ranch, as I decided, since their previous home was sold. It took time to find a property requiring ranch management, but I'm glad I persisted. I was able to get alimony from my husband and now live a comfortable life at my parents' home. I don't know what will happen next, but I plan to trust only myself. My husband and mother-in-law have called a few times asking for help, but I think they're not worth helping, so I've blocked their calls and only listened to updates from a colleague. I've instructed the colleague to be tough on them, so it seems they'll be living in the ranch house for a while longer.